You're watching Seahawks Today. I am the somewhat capable host, Tyler Jones, here with you as we are talking all things Charles Cross today. The third-year offensive tackle out of Mississippi State has a huge year ahead of him in 2024. Will he live up to the hype and the expectations? We'll give you our thoughts and analysis coming up in just a moment. Let's show some love to Charles Cross right now. If you want Charles Cross to have a big year, like today's video. If we get 500 likes, I'm told that he'll be an all-pro. So, don't jinx it. Just do what I say. Like the video, do your part, send some good vibes to Charles Cross. Maybe his family's watching. We want to make sure our voices are heard loud and clear, that we support Charles Cross and hope that he has a big season this year. Like the video, and we'll get started with today's show. As Charles Cross enters his third year with the Seattle Seahawks, this is kind of put up or shut up time, right? Charles Cross, he was a guy that came to Seattle as kind of the start of a new era, right? Was a part of that Russell Wilson trade, and this was believed to be that Charles Cross was kind of one of the bricks laying the foundation for this next chapter going forward. That although the Seahawks at the time, when they selected Charles Cross, didn't have their franchise quarterback figured out yet, they at least had their franchise left tackle to protect their future quarterback. Bleacher Report says that Cross is Seattle's most promising building block entering 2024. Not Devin Witherspoon, not Jackson Smith-Njigba, not Reek Wallen. No, Charles Cross is the most promising building block for this team. Here's more from Bleacher Report. Charles Cross is tasked with locking down Geno Smith's blindside. Cross isn't yet a dominant force, but he's been a steady blocker in 2 seasons. Now, the expectation for Charles Cross when he came to Seattle was that, hey, using a number 9 overall pick on a player at the left tackle position, when they could have done a number of things, that Seattle was getting their starting left tackle for the next 10-plus years, that they were getting a Pro Bowl caliber player at that position, and the ultimate goal was one day a Hall of Famer. Right now, he's not close to that. He is not close to being a 10-year pro and a Pro Bowl tackle that has potential to be a Hall of Famer. He's got a long ways to go. But I've seen enough of the good with the last 2 years in Charles Cross to believe that it's not time to give up on him just yet, that his best football is still in front of him. He missed 3 games last year with a toe injury that he suffered week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams. And even when he did come back, he still didn't look 100%, right? He never really got fully up to speed. His rookie season, he started every game, including the playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers. And the big silver lining, if you will, for Seattle is the contract situation is still pretty good for Charles Cross at this point. Still has 2 years left on his rookie deal with cap hits of close to $6 million this year and close to $7 million next year. And obviously you have the potential option for a 5th-year option with Charles Cross as well that the Seahawks will have to figure out at some point as well. But the main point being is this is going to be the year where the Seahawks need to figure it out one way or the other. Is Charles Cross our long-term solution, or do we need to start looking for other options? That's the type of pressure that's on Charles Cross entering 2024. Our pinned comment today, be honest, do you believe in Charles Cross or not? Type B for believe, type D for don't. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think if you are a believer in Charles Cross. Now, part of the reason why the Seahawks need Charles Cross to step up is because when you look at this team this year, they don't have better options, right? We all know. It's no secret that this Seahawks team entering 2024, their biggest weakness is the offensive line. And you look at this group. Lincoln Tomlinson, we don't know what version we're going to get out of Lincoln Tomlinson. He was a Pro Bowler with the Niners back in 2021, but he was bad last year with the Jets. Olu's just in his 2nd year. The jury's still out on him. Christian Haynes and Anthony Bradford, both of them are rookies. A lot remains to be seen of what exactly they're going to bring to the table. Haynes a rookie, Bradford a second-year player, rather. And then Abraham Lucas, who was drafted the same year as Charles Cross. That knee, is he ever fully going to recover? Is he going to play to his full potential? Charles Cross is the most promising player of this offensive line entering this year, and that's not really saying that much with just the question marks that are everywhere. Really, across the board, there are question marks on this offensive line. So then the next question to follow that is, what is at stake this year for Charles Cross? And for me, there are a couple of things that come to mind. Let's start with this from Jeremy Brenner of Seattle Seahawks. If Cross can continue to develop and take a step in the right direction under new offensive line coach Scott Huff, he could put himself in a position this offseason to begin negotiating for a long-term deal and fully establish his place as one of the most important players on the roster. Such an emergence would also be a major boon, I think that's supposed to mean boom, for an offense that could be a mid-level offensive line away from unleashing a top 5 scoring attack. For me, I look at it this way. Cross will not only be the difference in how far the Seahawks go. If Charles Cross is playing well, we already know the skill positions are there, right? We know that Geno is capable of getting the job done. If he has a left tackle he can trust, then you might as well go ahead and buy stock in the Seahawks now. That over-under total, which is like 7, I believe, take the over, I think, as is. But if Charles Cross is playing well, definitely take the over. That's part one. But then part two, all right, that left tackle position that he plays, if he does his part and has that breakthrough season, then that rookie contract, you're going to be saying to yourself, man, I'm going to miss those days, because he's going to be due potentially for a lot of money. So it's twofold. It's not just that Charles Cross can take this offense to another level by himself, but he can also get paid handsomely by his performance if he puts in the work this year. You go back and look at the numbers according to Pro Football Focus in 2023, and you can see it wasn't that great for Charles Cross last year. Overall grade, 67.6. Run block grade, not so hot, 58.3. Pass block grade was his strength, 69.7. But he gave up way too many sacks with 6 total last year. Now, Charles Cross, much like everyone else on this roster, is affected by having a new head coach in the building, a new set of eyes, if you will, to see how this team stacks up, that he doesn't have the benefit of the doubt anymore of being Pete Carroll's guy, right? He's a guy that came from the previous regime. But from Charles Cross's vantage point, he likes what he's seen from Mike Macdonald and the fit within this Seahawks system. Charles Cross had this to say recently about Mike Macdonald. I love him. He brings the tenacity to the building. He's very blunt. He wants to get the job done. So Charles Cross is buying what Mike Macdonald's selling. And we know when we look at this offensive system that Ryan Grubb is bringing in, this air raid spread offensive attack, it's very similar to what Charles Cross was a part of at Mississippi State under Mike Leach, right? And Scott Huff, his blocking schemes are very similar as well to the Mike Leach blocking schemes at Mississippi State. So with that, Charles Cross should step in and feel comfortable. This offense, this offensive system, in theory, which is going to pass the ball more than what we've seen previously, which is the strength of Charles Cross's game is pass blocking as opposed to run blocking, all of that bodes well. So everything is heading in the right direction. Assuming Charles Cross is healthy, everything is set up for him to have a big year this year. Now it's just a matter of him putting it together or not. Let's ask you this question. Will Charles Cross be in Seattle long term? Are you buying the stock in Charles Cross right now? Because this is a make or break year at this point. What do you think? Y for yes, in for no? Way in the comment section. Tell us what you think. If you enjoyed today's show, you want to send some good vibes to Charles Cross and show him that we're rooting him on and wish him nothing but the best, like the video, do your part. We certainly would appreciate it. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.